That first sip of coffee in the morning, the aroma, the warmth, the way it just kickstarts your day.
Hmm.
It's a ritual almost everyone on the planet shares, isn't it?
It really is.
But what if I told you there's an entire universe contained within that single cup?
Uh-huh.
It's far more than just a drink. It's a global journey that spans ancient legends, diverse landscapes and cultures, intricate economic systems, and even touches on our personal well-being.
It truly is. Today, we're taking a deep dive into that fascinating world of coffee.
Yeah.
We've pulled together some incredible sources to help us unpack everything from the distinct types of beans and how they're grown to the myriad ways coffee is enjoyed across the globe.
Right.
Its surprising health benefits, the complex economics that bring it to your mug, and, the critical importance of sustainability in its future.
Our mission is simple: to give you a shortcut to being truly well-informed about coffee. Revealing surprising facts and connecting the dots so you can appreciate your next cup in a whole new way. Get ready for some serious aha moments that might just change how you think about your daily brew.
Let's do it.
All right, let's unpack this, starting with the very heart of the matter: the coffee bean itself.
Huh?
And here's a surprising fact that even seasoned coffee drinkers might not know. What we call a coffee bean isn't technically a bean at all.
Right.
It's actually the pit or seed found inside a deep red or purple fruit, which is called a coffee cherry.
Wild, right?
It really is. These plants are small evergreen shrubs, originally from tropical Africa, particularly Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm.
Before roasting, these seeds are light green, and that signature dark brown color and rich flavor only develop after they've been transformed by heat.
Right, the roasting process.
And most of the world's coffee is grown in what's known as the bean belt, countries located on or around the equator, where conditions are just right.
So when we talk about types of coffee, most people are familiar with two big names, Arabica and Robusta.
The big two, yeah. Walk us through Arabica first. What makes it so popular?
Well, Arabica really is the darling of the coffee world, comprising about 75% of the global crop.
75%. Wow.
Yeah. It's known for its higher quality and those wonderfully delicate, nuanced flavors. Think notes of fruit, berries, flowers, sometimes even chocolate or nuts.
Nice.
It also has less caffeine compared to Robusta, making it a popular choice for those who prefer a smoother, milder experience.
Okay.
Its origins trace back to Ethiopia, and it thrives in higher altitudes, between 2,000 to 6,000 feet, with cooler temperatures and consistent rainfall.
So trickier to grow.
Definitely. Arabica plants are more susceptible to diseases and pests, making them challenging to cultivate, but incredibly rewarding flavor-wise.
Uh,
You might hear of varieties like bourbon or caturra, which are subtypes of Arabica, each bringing its own subtle character, much like different grape varietals in wine.
that's a great analogy. And then there's Robusta, which from what I understand is a totally different beast.
Absolutely. Robusta has a much stronger, more intense coffee taste, often described with earthy, woody, and sometimes bitter flavors.
And more caffeine.
And yes, it comes with significantly more caffeine, delivering that intense and caffeinated kick if you need it.
Right.
Robusta is frequently used in espresso blends because it produces a thicker, richer crema.
That foam on top.
Exactly, that beautiful foam. It's also ideal for instant coffee due to its better solubility. You'll find it growing in Africa, Indonesia, and Vietnam.
And it's hardier, you said.
Much hardier. It's more resistant to diseases and pests, and it can be cultivated at lower altitudes, usually below 2,000 feet, in warmer temperatures with more rainfall. It's essentially the workhorse of the coffee world.
Okay, the workhorse. So beyond the big two, are there any other players on the field?
There are two rarer gems are Liberica and Excelsa.
Liberica.
Yeah, Liberica is far less common, making up less than 2% of the global crop, and it can be quite difficult to find.
Really? Less than 2%.
It definitely has a unique and distinct flavor profile, fruity, with floral and spicy notes, which can be quite polarizing for some coffee drinkers.
Polarizing. Interesting. Where's it grown?
It's grown in West Africa, especially Liberia, and is very popular in the Philippines, where it's known as Kapeng Barako.
Kapeng Barako.
And its rarity contributes to a much higher price point, as you'd expect.
Makes sense. And then there's Excelsa.
Excelsa has a tart and fruity flavor,
Yeah.
sometimes likened to tart cherries, dark berries, and light citrus.
Sounds intriguing.
It's often used in blends to add complexity, and interestingly, it contains less caffeine than both Arabica and Robusta.
Oh, okay.
Excelsa is mainly grown in Southeast Asia, particularly Vietnam and the Philippines.
Right.
Now, there is a bit of a classification debate. Originally its own species, now often seen as a variety of Liberica.
Okay.
But many in the industry still treat it as separate because its flavor profile is so distinct. Understanding these differences, it directly influences the taste and experience of your coffee, empowering you to make more informed choices when you're trying new beans.
Absolutely. So once these coffee cherries are harvested, the beans need to be processed. This step is crucial
Hugely crucial.
because it significantly impacts the final flavor. Remind us again, the coffee beans are the seeds found inside the fruit cherries.
Exactly. And there are a few main ways to process them, each bringing out different qualities.
Okay.
With wet processing, the coffee cherry is stripped off gently by water. This method typically results in brighter, cleaner coffees, more acidity.
Brighter, cleaner. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's dry processing.
Right, the natural process. Here, the cherries are dried, often in the sun, before the beans are removed.
And that gives you.
This method tends to yield fruitier, heavier-bodied coffees and can produce more crema in espresso. Think more fruit-forward notes.
Interesting. Fruitier, heavier body.
And a third method is pulped natural. This involves partially removing the cherry, allowing the remaining pulp to dry on the bean before it's removed.
Total hybrid.
Exactly. It combines characteristics of both wet and dry processing, sometimes resulting in unique fermented or even winey notes.
Winey notes in coffee. Fascinating.
Yeah.
After processing comes the truly transformative act. Roasting.
Ah, the magic step.
This is what makes coffee drinkable, turning those pale green beans into the dark brown, aromatic, and flavorful gems we all know.
And this is where your senses become your best friend.
Yeah.
You can look at the color, smell the aroma,
Hear the cracks?
and even listen for the cracks the beans make. Yeah. Think of roasting on a spectrum. Light roasts mean the bean has just barely cracked open. First crack, they call it.
First crack.
This preserves those bright, vibrant notes of its origin. This is where you can really taste the unique character of the coffee itself, the terroir.
So if you're someone who wants to genuinely taste the origin and individuality of your coffee, definitely keep it on the lighter side.
First,
What happens as we move toward medium?
as you move into medium roasts, you get a beautiful balance. It's a mix of the coffee's origin character and the flavors imparted by the roasting process itself.
So a bit of both worlds.
Exactly. This is often a popular choice because it hits that sweet spot of acidity and body. Think full city roast.
Full city. Okay. And what about dark roasts? We've all seen those super dark, oily beans.
Right. With dark roasts, the roasting process really takes over. You'll start tasting more of the roast itself and less of the coffee's original character.
So the origin gets masked.
Pretty much. It's also less acidic and bright. If you go even darker, like a French roast, the beans are almost gray-black, covered in oil.
Very oily.
And almost all origin flavor is gone, replaced by a burnt undertone. Honestly, at that point, any coffee would taste almost the same. And then there's the Italian or Spanish roast, which our sources say is essentially charcoal.
Oh,
As they put it, friends don't let friends drink charcoal.
point taken. So if you enjoy a more muted coffee that tastes more like the roasting process itself, keep it on the darker side.
That's the idea.
And for those interested, home roasting is gaining popularity.
It is. Beginners often use hot air popcorn poppers. They're cheap and effective.
But limited.
Yeah, they lack temperature or airflow control, and you do small batches. Hot air roasters tend to create a brighter cup, while drum roasters offer a more balanced profile and allow for larger batches, more control.
Good to know. Beyond the bean and the roast, the way you brew your coffee is absolutely critical.
Oh, definitely.
And here's a secret from the pros. Your grinder is arguably the most important part of making good coffee.
Cannot stress this enough.
Do not skimp on the grinder.
Yeah.
Uniformity of the grind is crucial.
That's a fantastic point. Blade grinders are simply not recommended.
Why is that again?
They produce a non-uniform grind dust and boulders, and the heat from the motor can actually damage the delicate aromas.
Right, heat is bad for flavor.
Exactly. You really want a burr grinder, which creates consistent, uniform particles.
Burr grinder. Got it.
Hand crank mills are often the cheapest option for beginners looking to upgrade and get that consistency.
Okay. And once you have your grinder sorted, there's a world of brewing methods to explore, each offering a different experience.
So many ways to make coffee.
The Turkish method, using an e-brick, is supposedly the oldest.
Yeah, extremely fine grounds, very strong, brewed directly on the stove with sugar usually mixed in.
Then there's the press pot, or French press.
Yeah.
Pretty common.
Very common. It's a simple filtration method that's great for exposing a bean's flavor notes. Easy, cheap, and effective for beginners.
Good starting point. What about pour over? That seems really popular now.
Huge right now. Methods like using a Hario V60 are praised for clean cups and really showing off the coffee's strengths.
Requires a bit more technique.
A little. Serious users often opt for a gooseneck kettle for precise pouring, better control over the water flow.
Right. The AeroPress is a fairly new invention.
Relatively new, yeah. Makes strong, almost espresso-like coffee. It's durable plastic, great for travel, and incredibly easy to use and clean. Very forgiving.
Okay. And for home espresso on a budget.
The Mika pot is your go-to. It uses steam pressure to make a strong brew, a bit like stovetop espresso. Easiest and cheapest way to get something like espresso at home.
Not true espresso, but close-ish.
Right. And for something a bit more advanced or maybe theatrical, vacuum or siphon pots, an older method where boiling water is pushed up by vapor pressure, combines with grounds, then is sucked back down.
Wow. Sounds complicated.
It looks cool, results in a cup with more body and less sediment than a French press.
Interesting. What about the standard auto drip machine most people have?
Well, they automate the pour over, offering convenience, definitely, but they often struggle to reach and maintain the ideal brewing temperature, around 190-205 Fahrenheit.
So the coffee might be under-extracted.
Often, yeah, water temp is key.
Finally, we have espresso, the real deal.
This is truly a monster of the coffee world, really, for dedicated enthusiasts willing to invest significantly.
Not for beginners.
Not really recommended for beginners due to its complexity and cost. You've got lever machines for purists, temperamental but rewarding.
Okay.
Semi-autos, which are common for home enthusiasts, look for brass or copper tubing internally. And super autos that automate everything.
Push button.
Push button, yeah, but often yield a subpar quality espresso if you're aiming for world class.
Right. Trade-offs.
Now, beyond brewing, let's talk about how to taste coffee like a pro.
Okay, cupping.
Well, maybe not full cupping, but applying the principles. This isn't just for coffee snobs.
Right.
It's about unlocking the why behind your preferences and genuinely improving your own brewing technique.
Makes sense.
Coffee professionals use 5 elements to differentiate a cup.
Okay, lay them out for us. First up is sweetness.
Right. Good coffee often tastes sweeter. When you're tasting, ask yourself what kinds of sweetness you detect. Is it fresh fruit, honey, caramel, or molasses?
So getting specific.
Exactly. Instead of just tasting coffee, challenge yourself to pinpoint one new flavor each day. That small focus will rapidly unlock your palate.
Good tip. What's next?
Next is body, which is the weight and feel of the coffee on your tongue.
Like mouthfeel.
Precisely. Is it light, like skim milk, or heavy, like whipping cream? This is often one of the easiest qualities for new tasters to grasp.
Okay, body. Then
There's acidity, a prized attribute that adds brightness and dimension.
brightness. Okay, not like sourness.
No, not sourness like a defect. This isn't about pH. It's about the quality of the tartness. Does it have a mild melon-like pang, or is it more vibrant, like a lemon?
Ah, okay.
You'll notice acidity is often muted in darker roasts.
Right, the roasting process dulls it.
Exactly. The fourth element is flavors. Go beyond just coffee.
This is where the nuance comes in.
Totally. Can you identify specific notes like toasted almonds, blueberries, or rose? Leverage your daily eating experiences to build your sensory memory. What did you eat yesterday? Connect it.
Build that flavor library in your head.
You got it. And finally, finish. This is the aftertaste. How long it lasts, whether it's fleeting or lingering, and its texture, rough or smooth. Does it disappear quickly or hang around?
Okay, sweetness, body, acidity, flavors, finish.
It sounds like a lot, but practice really does make better.
Correct.
Brew different coffees side by side.
Comparative tasting.
Yeah. Or share a cup with a friend and discuss what you taste. The good news is, there's never a wrong answer, and your morning cup gives you a daily excuse to build your taste vocabulary.
That's a fantastic tip for anyone wanting to dive deeper into their coffee experience. Now that you know how to truly taste the incredible nuances in your cup, let's take a step back.
Okay.
Explore how this humble bean became such a global powerhouse, influencing cultures and economies across the world.
The history.
Our journey, fittingly, begins back in Ethiopia with the legend of Kaldi the goat herder.
The dancing goats.
Exactly. He noticed his goats became incredibly energetic after eating certain red berries, keeping them awake all night. He shared this with local monks, who then created a drink from the berries that helped them stay awake for their night prayers. Whether it's true or not, it's a great story.
It's a fantastic origin story. From there, coffee's popularization truly began in the Arab world, specifically in Yemen in the 15th century. thanks to Sufi monks.
Yemen. Okay.
As Muslim pilgrims traveled to Mecca, the enjoyment and harvesting of coffee, or the wine of Araby, spread throughout the 16th century to places like Turkey, Egypt, and Syria.
The wine of Arabia. I like that.
Yeah. Coffee houses known as kawa became schools of the wise, fostering intellectual discussion and camaraderie, places to gather and talk.
Social hubs.
Absolutely. By the 17th century, European travelers brought coffee to the continent.
And it wasn't immediately embraced.
No, it faced some controversy, with some critics even calling it the bitter invention of Satan.
Well,
But Pope Clement VIII, after tasting it, famously gave it his papal pardon around 1615, essentially blessing its consumption and paving the way for its expansion.
a papal pardon for coffee.
Right. This led to it even replacing beer and wine as a common breakfast drink in some parts of Europe.
That's a big shift.
Traders, conquistadors, and missionaries then brought coffee to the Americas during the Columbian Exchange.
Okay, crossing the Atlantic.
In North America, its popularity soared after the Boston Tea Party. People switched from tea to coffee almost as a political statement.
Ah, interesting connection.
And there's a fascinating story from 1723 about a French naval officer, Gabriel de Clue.
Oh, cute. Okay.
He allegedly stole a coffee seedling from a plant gifted to King Louis XIV, bringing it to Martinique.
Stole it.
That's the legend. This single act is credited with the spread of Arabica coffee throughout Latin America. One little seedling.
Incredible potential impact. However, it's important to acknowledge the darker side of this expansion.
Yes, absolutely. The high-grossing coffee industry we know today was, in many regions, built on the institution of slavery.
Right.
As demand surged beyond what the Arab world could supply, the Dutch began cultivating coffee in Indonesia, Java, Sumatra, Celebes in the 17th century.
Using forced labor.
Often, yes. And much of the coffee grown in Africa and the Americas was also cultivated and harvested by enslaved people. It's a crucial part of the history we can't ignore.
Definitely not. What's truly fascinating, though, is how coffee integrated into diverse traditions globally, shaping unique cultural rituals.
It really embedded itself everywhere. Let's look at a few examples that really highlight this.
Yeah, let's do a quick world tour, starting back in Ethiopia.
Right, the birthplace. You have the Bunna ceremony. It's an incredible social ritual taking over an hour.
An hour, wow.
Yeah, involving washing the green beans, roasting them right there in a skillet, grinding them, and serving in a special clay pot called a jabina. It's a deep cultural experience, very hospitable.
Amazing. And if you swing over to Italy.
Italy,
Mm.
birthplace of the espresso machine. Their coffee culture is all about speed, precision, standing at the bar typically.
Like quick shots.
Espresso, macchiatos, cappuccinos, it's a daily ritual, often multiple times a day, deeply ingrained.
Then there's Vietnam. You mentioned French influence earlier.
You can clearly see it. Café Soa strong coffee, usually Robusta, mixed with sweetened condensed milk, poured over ice, is a beloved staple.
Sounds intense and sweet.
It's refreshing and potent. Uniquely Vietnamese, they take their coffee very seriously.
Okay. And in the Nordic countries, you mentioned fika.
Yes, the fika tradition.
Right.
This isn't just about drinking coffee, it's about taking 2 intentional social breaks a day.
2 breaks. Nice.
To connect with colleagues or friends over strong coffee and usually some pastries or sweets, it's a vital part of their social fabric, about slowing down and connecting.
I like the sound of fika. And finally, down in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, you see a blending of influences, especially from Greek and Italian immigrants post-WWII.
Right.
They're famous for inventing the flat white, and Melbourne especially has this reputation, sometimes called the coffee capital of the world. Very high standards.
Flat white, Melbourne.
Mm,
Okay. These are just a few glimpses into how deeply coffee is woven into global life.
absolutely. And this global journey leads us directly to the economics of your daily brew.
The money side.
Coffee is a truly global commodity. Now, while it's often misstated as the second most valuable commodity globally after oil,
I've heard that.
yeah, it's a common myth when you count all commodities, but it is definitively the second most valuable commodity exported by developing countries. That distinction is important.
Okay. Crucial for developing economies.
Hugely. It's also one of the most traded agricultural commodities, with futures contracts traded on major exchanges like New York and London.
What's truly eye-opening here is the sheer scale of human reliance on coffee.
It's staggering. Over 125 million people worldwide rely on it for their livelihood,
125 million.
with about 25 million small families making a living directly from coffee farming. Brazil, Vietnam, Indonesia, Colombia, and Ethiopia are the top producers, demonstrating just how central coffee is to their economies.
Millions, depending on this one crop.
Exactly. However, the global price of coffee is highly volatile.
Unstable prices.
It fluctuates wildly due to factors like weather droughts, frost, diseases, and even stock market speculation. This makes it incredibly difficult for farmers to predict their income.
That must be tough.
For a small farmer, this isn't just about less income. It can impact their entire way of life, from sending their children to school to simply putting food on the table. This instability can be devastating for communities reliant on coffee.
Wow, that really puts it in perspective. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the journey from farm to cup involves a complex supply chain.
It's quite a long chain. It goes from producers, the farmers,
Right.
then often through middlemen exporters, sometimes called coyotes, who buy directly from small farmers, often at low prices,
Coyotes, okay.
then to importers in consuming countries, then roasters, retailers, and finally us, the consumers.
So lots of steps. Who holds the power?
Well, importers often have the capital to obtain quality coffee from around the world and significantly influence what's sold in shops. Roasters, surprisingly, often have the highest profit margin in this entire chain. They add significant value.
Interesting. And where do most people buy it?
When it comes to where you buy your beans or ground coffee, supermarkets and traditional retail chains hold about 60% of the market share.
Okay. This all raises an important question. With such widespread consumption and global reach, what is coffee's environmental footprint?
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin. Unfortunately, it comes with significant costs.
How so?
Coffee production has increased by about 60% in the last 30 years alone. That expansion contributes to considerable environmental degradation.
60% increase. Wow.
That's right. Key issues include deforestation and habitat loss. Coffee farming accounts for approximately 5% of global deforestation, often clearing forest for plantations.
5%, that's substantial.
Water usage is also significant. It takes about 140 liters of water, that's nearly 37 gallons, to produce a single cup of coffee from farm to cup.
140 liters per cup.
And the processing, especially wet processing, generates wastewater that can lead to significant water pollution if not treated properly.
Okay, deforestation, water use, pollution. Anything else?
Soil degradation and erosion are also major problems. Monocropping, just growing coffee, depletes soil nutrients over time, and full sun exposure, which is common now, worsens the issue compared to traditional methods.
Right, and the carbon emissions are quite eye-opening too.
They really are. Producing 1 pound of roasted coffee emits about 11 pounds of carbon emissions.
11 pounds CO2 for 1 pound of coffee.
Roughly. Yeah, that's equivalent to driving an average car for about 11 miles. An average cup of brewed coffee itself can produce up to 50 grams of CO2, and that's not even including the packaging or milk.
Just the black coffee. Wow.
Furthermore, climate change poses a severe threat to coffee production itself.
How is climate change affecting it?
Rising temperatures and shifting rainfall patterns could make up to 50% of the land currently suitable for growing Arabica coffee unsuitable by 2050.
Half the land. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a massive threat. This also leads to increased pests and diseases like the coffee leaf rust fungus, which can devastate entire crops and regions.
This sounds pretty grim.
And let's not forget the consumer and the disposable cup dilemma. Americans alone discard about 50 billion non-recyclable coffee cups annually.
50 billion. That's just staggering. Okay, so what does this all mean for a brighter future for coffee? Are there solutions?
Thankfully, yes. Sustainable solutions are becoming critical, and one of the most impactful approaches is fair trade.
Fair trade, okay. How does that help?
Fair trade offers a crucial safety net with a minimum price for farmers. This provides stability against those volatile market drops we just talked about. If the market crashes, they still get a baseline price.
So income security.
Exactly. And in addition to the minimum price, farmers receive a fair trade premium. This is an extra sum of money they collectively decide how to invest.
They decide.
Yes, democratically. They can put it into business improvements, like better processing equipment to improve quality, or community projects like schools or healthcare, or increasingly towards climate adaptation,
like drought-resistant plants.
Precisely. Purchasing drought-resistant seedlings, improving irrigation. Fair trade farmers are actively using these resources to fight climate change and adapt their farms.
That sounds really positive.
Oh.
What else?
Another key method is agroforestry, also known simply as shade-grown coffee.
Growing coffee under trees.
Essentially, yes. It involves combining coffee plants with a canopy of diverse forest trees, mimicking its natural habitat, and it brings a wealth of benefits.
Like what?
Well, farms with significant shade cover can actually see increased yields in the long run. One study in southern Mexico showed farms with 48% shade had 30% higher yields.
Higher yields with shade. That seems counterintuitive.
It can be, but the overall health of the ecosystem helps. Beyond yields, shade-grown coffee leads to healthier soil, conserves biodiversity by providing habitat for birds and other wildlife,
Good for birds, yeah.
offers natural pest control because the birds eat the insects, and helps regulate temperature and humidity, reducing water loss from the soil.
So much better for the environment.
Definitely. This is a stark contrast to sun cultivation, planting coffee in dense rows and direct sun. That practice gained traction during the Green Revolution for higher initial yields, but unfortunately it destroys forests and biodiversity and depletes soil faster.
Okay, fair trade, shade-grown. These seem like big farm-level solutions. What about us, the consumers?
This is where it gets really interesting. Here's the mind-blowing truth about coffee's carbon footprint. It's not just the farm. Most of its environmental impact actually occurs after the beans are picked.
After harvest, really?
Yes, things like transportation, roasting, packaging, brewing, milk, sugar, and especially the cup you use.
Yeah.
It all adds up significantly. It means your daily choices, right in your kitchen or local cafe, hold more power than you might think.
Wow, that's a huge insight. So consumer power plays a massive role.
Absolutely. Think about it. Switching to sustainable coffee growing practices could reduce coffee's carbon footprint by over 75% at the farm level, but consumer choices matter downstream too.
Give us an example.
A simple black coffee emits about 21 grams of CO2, roughly, but a large latte with all the energy needed to heat the milk, plus the milk's own footprint, can be up to 340 grams.
Whoa, big difference.
Huge difference. So choosing shade-grown or organic coffee helps at the source,
Yeah.
but also consistently using reusable cups instead of disposable ones. That's a massive impact you can make every single day. These small actions collectively make a significant difference.
Okay, that's really empowering to know. We've covered a vast landscape today, haven't we?
We really have, from bean types to brewing, history, economics, environment.
From the distinct types of coffee beans and how they're processed, to the art of tasting a fine cup, the rich cultural tapestry woven around coffee across continents, and the critical economic and environmental challenges and solutions facing this beloved beverage.
It's a truly complex, global story that connects millions of people and touches so many aspects of our lives and planet.
Yeah.
So, for your next cup, consider this. It's not just a personal experience, it's a direct connection to ancient legends, global trade routes, the livelihoods of millions, and the ongoing health of our planet. What stands out to you the most after this deep dive? What's the one thing you'll think about differently?
That's a great question for everyone listening. As you brew your next cup, perhaps you'll seek out a new bean type, maybe try a different brewing method, or practice those tasting notes we talked about. Or maybe you'll simply appreciate the incredible journey your coffee takes before it reaches your hands. The farmers, the ecosystems, the history.
Yeah.
If you're curious to learn even more, there are plenty of avenues to explore. You could join online coffee communities like Our Coffee on Reddit,
Great resource.
or watch expert YouTube channels like James Hoffman's, he's fantastic, or even, dream about planning a coffee pilgrimage to a producing country someday.
See it at the source.
Exactly. The adventure is truly yours to brew.